Back in the days, there were very physical, labor-intensive jobs. You had to get out, you had to be physical, whether it was simple task of going to the grocery store, getting the mail, having to walk and be physical, go to a job where it requires labor-intensive work. Today, this day and age, that's very rare. And what I mean by that, technology, society, and everything else, and all the developments that we have, everybody is now either a desk jockey or does some sort of sedentary work where they're not using their physical ability.
How you guys doing? Welcome to my garage gym.
For today's first episode, what we're going to do is we're here with Cedrick Crosby. He's been developing his garage gym for how long?
About a year and a half.
Year and a half. So typically what happens on a garage gym, it evolves. Very rarely do you come in and you get everything you want right out the gate and you're set. So over time you evolve and you add as you go, whether it be free weights, dumbbells because you got stronger, or whether it be different pieces of equipment to attack different body parts. How do I start my garage gym? Very, very simple. First thing you want to do is you want to learn to allocate time for your physical fitness or some sort of training. So what I mean by that is it doesn't mean you have to go out and buy a $5,000 garage gym. It doesn't mean you have to go out and buy a single piece of equipment. I recommend starting with what you got. And what I mean by that is your body weight. I want you to start off with push-ups, sit-ups, air squats, etc. Planks. We can do a lot of core work. But more importantly, what I want you to do is carve out 5, 10, 15 minutes a day to dedicate to your physical activity. What we're going to do is we're going to talk about Cedrick's gym from the ground up.
The flooring I got was from Fitness Depot. And I actually moved in right before Hurricane Harvey. And the flooring, I just decided to try to cover as much square footage as I could in the garage. Now, I don't know if you kind of notice it's on a slight slope.
What's really nice about the stall mats, they come in these big sheets and you can essentially set them up and go with them. The flooring, fantastic. Now working our way up, Cedrick also mentioned that one of the things that he did was he went with the flooring to compensate for a little grate. So when you want to factor in on the flooring with the grate, you can actually look right here as a prime example. Pretty much every garage is going to have a slight slope to it, some more than others. So always factor that in. You can sometimes feel it when you're doing heavy loads or squats or something like that, and you can sometimes see it or feel it on the equipment.
The squat stand, this is my bread and butter. This is where I get all my strength-based exercises done at. Squats, rack pulls, pin press, pull-ups. Basically, majority of my compound exercises are done here. What I really like about this in particular are the safety catches. These are extremely strong, so you don't have to worry about dropping the barbell or whatever you have on your chest. Also, like me in particular, this particular storage option right here, I like to use it in the back because that as a counterbalance for my suspension trainer. So seeing as they're rocking or falling over me, everything like that, so that keeps me from getting hurt. So that's pretty much the, like I said, the main focal point of my garage.
Love it. A couple DIY things that I've even seen Cedrick do, which is a good thing to point out, is he's actually marked where his J-hooks go. So if you look here, I bet that's his squat height.
You're correct, sir.
I bet that's his bench height.
You are correct, sir.
That's where he likes his safety spotters depending on where he's at. Yep. So this is little key tricks that you guys can learn from watching the Garage Gym Specialist. As we go through and we meet with different people come up with different fantastic ideas. This is going to be a great resource for all of us to use as the Garage Gym Nation grows. I see a broad array of different bars, Cedrick. Walk us through the bars and tell us what you got.
The bars. So first and foremost, this guy right here, the safety squat bar is by far my favorite bar because I had a shoulder injury, so this helped me build my strength back up to even higher than pre-surgery levels. So this one right here is safe to shoulders. I'm able to still do my squats and basically load up my lower body.
Many reasons to factor in this type of stuff. What ended up happening was he had an injury that led him to the safety squat bar, and now you just heard it, it became his favorite bar out of all of them.
Trap/hex bar. I like this bar in particular, again, mainly for post-op reasons, but also for farmer carriers. I can load this thing up 300 some odd pounds and walk as far as I can with it. So what else we got over here? Got football bar slash multi-grip bar. Again, mainly because of post-operation purposes. Allows me to utilize different grips, and it's a lot easier on the shoulders. The bar weight itself weighs about 25 pounds, so you want to put a little bit more weight on it to equal up to a standard barbell. So this is actually part of my second favorite bar. I got back to building my chest up with this one. And then, last but not least, is your standard barbell. 45-pound Olympic barbell, and self-explanatory. This is the main strength builder right here. This is, a lot of people's bread and butter, and I get a lot of work done with this guy. As you can see, I got my grip marks over here. Got that grip mark in right there. So, yep.
And then actually, last but not least, I see one bar in the middle, and we all know what it's for. Curls for the girls.
Curls for the girls.
Boom. Easy curl bar. Love the easy curl bar. It alleviates wrist and forearm pain with the angles, and then just gives you different hand positions to grab on.
It's still my goal to try to press these guys, but I mainly use them for loose grip rows. So bent over rows, nice. In my 70s, 40s are meant for bench pressing, and the 20s are for burnout for rows. Right. So back, chest, bicep.
There's a method to his madness. I knew there was a reason to it. A wall ball is typically going to be a 14-inch diameter, made out of some sort of cloth material, and can be used for several different movements. Obviously, the wall ball hitting a target. You can do accelerated passes back and forth with it, so you can actually catch it. Nobody would want to catch a hard rubberized tennis ball thrown at their head. The slam balls are great. Some of the smaller sizes we use to slam. We pick them up, go to full extension, slam them down.
So garage gym training on my conditioning days, I like to use these guys. I like to take the power log, put it over the shoulder, run 200 some odd meters at the 100-meter mark, hit the other shoulder, run back. And then with this guy right here, it's actually quite full, but this is my 80-plus pounder, and I like to clean with it. Bring it up, and just a high rack carry with it. So
the 80-pounder, this was something that was an unfilled bag that you purchased, and then what did we do to make the weight in there? How does it come with filler bags, or what did we do?
To open this up, open up the zipper. It has 3 filler bags in there, which you fill with sand, and then you shove them in there, you zip it up, and it has this nice buttons on there to keep everything compartmentalized and nice and tight. So it's pretty secure. Sand doesn't really come out, so that's a great option.
All right, I see a big rope with tape on it. Talk to me.
So this guy right here is actually a ship rope. If you can kind of smell it, it still smells like kind of kerosene a little bit. But this was given to me by a good friend about 2 years ago. I actually had to kind of do a boss job and put some tape on here, but use it for slams, for tie both of those kettlebells on there and drag it up a hill, just get some work done. Last but not least, big tractor trailer tire. So I use this guy of course for tire flips, and also put a tie down over it, so I can hook I got a strap over there that I actually do my tire pulls. Use a friction on the ground to pull it, or sling it around the shoulders and then push into it. So
I love it. So what he did is he actually, some of the smaller tires you can just drill a hole in and put an eyelet in there and then make a poor man's sled per se. What Cedrick did is he actually put a tie around here, and this is what he hooks into for him to do his pulls and everything else. It'd be pretty hard to drill through this type of tread.
I tried.
Oh, you tried. So this was step 1, try to drill a hole. Step 2, come up with another option, and that's what he did.
That's an engineering degree.
Right there, in full effect. It finally paid for itself. I love it. So DIY, guys, we can get creative. It may not be perfect. It just has to be functional. That's the beauty of the garage gym.
For talk, gotta talk from hands up.
So, in Texas, this is a necessity. Yeah. Hot, humid Texas. You can't hold on. If you can't grip it, you can't rip it.
Yeah, I like that. Okay, so speaking of Texas, it gets hot. It gets hot in Texas, so I gotta keep the fan on. So I use this to hold up some of my medals, my elastic bands, jump rope, and of course Millionaire Thor's hammer. A huge Marvel Comics fan. For those who follow me on Instagram know exactly what I'm talking about. So this is used to hang all that, so hopefully I'll get some more medals this year.
So obviously you love doing the races. I see a lot of medals here. So is this something that you per se train for in here for these types of races? And if so, what are some of the things you do?
Absolutely, I do participate in OCR training. So a lot of it is basically it's an endurance run with some obstacles peppered in. So a lot of running, a lot of core conditioning, a lot of randomly picking heavy stuff. So I try to emulate as much as I can here with what's here on the course.
So we wholeheartedly believe that every house should have some sort of garage gym or some sort of gym, just like they have a bathroom. What was the very first piece of equipment you got for your garage gym?
Very first piece of equipment I got for my garage. Hard to say. Hard to say the flooring. The flooring, yeah, like I said, that was my foundation.
So started with flooring, built from the ground up, no pun intended.
Yeah.
You can only have one piece of equipment, Cedrick, and then we're shipping you off somewhere far, far away. What piece of equipment are we taking with us?
I'd say the safety bar.
Safety bar, boom.
Squat, front squat. You can try to bench with it. I mean, you can lunges. Probably can't deadlift with it, but I mean, it's pretty versatile.
Nice. All right, we've already covered some of it, but let's go ahead and talk about what is some of the DIY do-it-yourselfs that you've done in here.
DIY. Hard to say. I kind of piece-built a hyper-extension for my bench a couple of days ago.
Okay.
I'm feeling pretty good about that. It's one of the areas I want to work on, but I've seen a lot of those reverse hypers online, and I was like, let me try to do something. So I just put a power log right there and utilize the fulcrum, and then this flag keeps coming down. Got to secure it to the wall somehow.
No garage gym is complete unless it has a whiteboard. As you just saw your first episode of the Garage Gym Specialist, Cedrick's been so hospitable letting us in, showing us the ins and outs of his beautiful garage gym. How do we find you?
You can find me at C-Spec Fitness, that's CSPEC Fitness, on Instagram and on Facebook.
Follow the Garage Gym Specialist. Stay tuned, we got plenty more to come.